Hello everybody and welcome to Uniko's 2025 Christmas in July release product introduction day 1. Now I've been waiting for I don't know how long to introduce you to this product. It's a Christmas spin on a super favourite among you of our product. You'll remember the layering Bauhaus Blocks stencil. It's a 3-layer stencil. I can't remember off the top of my head when it was released, but it's been out a while now, and this is what it looks like in the background. Obviously on this card I paired it with the mid-century modern Perfect Day cat, and I added some glitter, and yeah, so that's what the original looked like. And I knew I wanted to bring a Christmas version of the stencil, and here it is. Like the original, it's a 3-layer stencil, which makes it really good value and super fun to use. And obviously, like all the builder stencils, you can do it as an instant focal point like I have here on this first sample. All the samples are on the Uniko website blog today if you want to look at closer details. On this card I used poppy, parsley and nectar, and then I went back in once I inked it all and did the eyes and mouth and went over with black. Originally that section is on the green layer, so it was just a case of repositioning it and going over. So I just added a simple sentiment and kept it really simple. Then obviously I wanted to show how you can build and fill a larger space. So when I'm doing this, I always start in the middle and then I just move the stencil around, and I will show you how it works if you can't quite remember, though you can go back. There's lots of videos showing how these builder stencils work. I switched things up a little bit, added in some my favourite sort of turquoisey colour, and I also added some enamel dots to Santa's nose, and I just finished off with a sentiment from Christmas Wishes. Now another fun thing is the stencils. The blocks of the stencils are designed so on the same scale, so you can use the original background builders Bauhaus builders stencil, this one, with the Christmas one. So for the Christmas one I started again in the middle. I used the same 3 colours as I did on my first card, and the same setup, adding the black to the eyes and the mouth and stuff. And then I chose a neutral palette of Pebble, Dove and Mushroom from Concord and 9th to then ink and fill the larger space with the original, and they work wonderfully together, and honestly it is so much fun. I added a sentiment from Simply Said Blocks Christmas and a few enamel dots, and again I was done. So I thought today I would just show you this stencil in action, and how you would then go about building with it to fill a larger space. It is super easy, and as I say, I'm just so excited to have this new edition, this Christmas edition. I think it just adds what I wanted really. So I'm going with a portrait. This is my usual 10.5 by 14 size, and it's just the size I go for, to be honest. Now when you look at the stencil, you will see that there's certain points. I tend to start with this one here because I can sort of centralize the tree and the gift a little bit easier. It's got Santa's hat and Santa's nose and the holly berry. Obviously, you don't have to go traditional. There are no rules when it comes to creating, but now and then I do like a little bit of tradition. So I am going to use red on this layer. Now I've chosen a bit of a sort of mid-century modern inspired colour scheme of sunflower, poppy and peacock, and we'll see how it turns out, though I might actually still use the nectar colour for Santa's face. So I'll show how I'm doing. So I'm going to start with the poppy, and I'm using a magnetic board here. It just it makes life easier for stenciling, especially when you're changing out layers. No more messing around with tape like I used to. Obviously there are some quite expensive ones on the market. I am looking at an upgrade, but it's like £60, but they are beautiful, the glass ones. But for now, this one, it ranges, I think originally it was about £30, maybe 35. But you can pick these ones up on marketplaces, eBay, etc., for around £15 to £20. And it's the Wendy Vecchi Make Art. I think it's called a staycation, something like that. It's by Ranger and it is good quality. I used it quite a lot at the beginning and then I didn't, and it actually went in the loft. And then when I brought my first, it wasn't my first layering stencil, it was one I've done recently, and I did a workshop and my friend reminded me that I had one, so I grabbed it out and it's been a life changer. So I've just gone over here with the red and we're gonna switch out. So I'm gonna roughly remember because it will help with layering and lining up. So this is the one that I tend to do with green. I'm gonna do with turquoise today, or a deep turquoise. So if you see here, obviously I'm fitting the ribbon across the gift, just lining up the point of the Christmas tree and just the edge of there, and also it will line up in the corner here. Now there are things on the market where you've got stencil corners. I think the Ton have them, and I know some other people have different versions as well. They're helpful, but I find them a little bit faffy, to be honest. That I just tend to use the grid. So I'm going over with peacock, and obviously Santa here will have peacock eyes and a peacock mouth, but when I've finished all my inking, I'll show you how I just literally went back in and used a black pen, a fine brush to add black for the eyes. So you can go as light or as heavy with your inks. You can use paste through these stencils. I just recommend literally pasting and then going and washing them straight away, because the paste does dry really quickly, especially if you're in a warm climate at the minute as well. And it can just leave a little bit of a film on your stencils. So yeah, if you're going to use paste, clean them straight away. I'm tending to lean more towards using clear embossing ink, removing the through the stencil, and then removing the stencil, and then using embossing powders to add the sparkle. You don't quite get the depth that paste gives, but you still get that added sparkle. So that's with 2 layers. And it does look really, really pretty. And then this is the 3rd layer, where you've got your Christmas bird. It could be a dove, it could be a robin, and then Santa's face and the triangles and such, the half circle. So I've tried to put in some sort of the regular sort of like I should say iconic Bauhaus style imagery in this with the shapes, but then make it Christmassy as well. So with this, I'm just using nectar, and I'm just going to go in quite softly here over the top, just to give, I don't want to give Santa a yellow face. Obviously you could make him more ethnic or from a different country if you wanted to. It doesn't have to have a white face. I guess it's the way I see Santa. But I am going to use yellow for the other side. And at the end of the day, there's really no rules when it comes to creativity. I could have done him yellow and he would still look awesome. I'm just cutting a little bit of the Eclipse masking paper just to cover him up, because I don't want the colours to make a horrible muddy colour. And I'm using sunflower today. Now I know I re-inked this pad yesterday, so I just tested a little bit off the side, and I'll go in over and I'll lift that off. This little bit of, because I didn't want lines like I've done there. My bit of Eclipse paper doesn't seem to be super sticky on the edges today, which is rather annoying, but hey ho, life. So I'm going over. It's a nice sort of goldeny yellow, this sunflower. That's why I chose it, to go sort of with the Christmas theme, but with a sort of mid-century nod as well. And I've made cards before where I've not used all the squares. I've just used a selection, so there's that option too. The brand ambassadors have done a fantastic job on the blog today on our introduction brand ambassador blog hop, and they've shown different layouts and just different ideas using this 3-layer stencil. So that's what it looks like when you do all 3 layers. Like I said, I wanted Santa and the bird to have black eyes, so I literally I never have it on hand. I use a tiny blending brush, my black ink. So these are the fine ones. It's shader 0 from Waffle Flower, and I literally just go over the top. And because I'm doing it in black, it will cover the colour, like so. And then you've got the nice eyes standing out, and you could add detail and whatnot, whatever you wanted really. Now I was going to quickly show you how how I would start to then build to fill a larger space if you wanted to. Now, as you can see, there's squares, so you could do this option and budge them up like this, or you could go down to this section here as well, and you just, depending on which option you would choose, you just get a slightly different look. And it's just a case of going through the layers and remembering which colour you did on which layer. But then again, there are no rules, you can switch it up. So I used turquoise on this layer, and as you can see, last time I started with the red layer, this time I'm starting with the turquoise layer. It depends where I'm placing it as to which I find easier to line up. So I find this square really easy to line up, hence why I'm using this one first. And when I did the first red layer, it was easy to centralize with that layer that I did in red. And again, you just go through all the colours, layering them up and moving it about to fill your larger space. And I won't keep you today. I will finish the card off camera and show you the finished results on the blog on release day. And then you just then move to your next layer and continue to fill the space. So I hope you're as excited as I am about this new Christmas layering Bauhaus Blocks stencil, as much as I am excited to bring it to you. And I've got some more in the works as well, more ideas. Well, thank you for joining me today for this first product introduction for our 2025 Christmas in July release. All the products will be available on the 31st of July, which I think is a Thursday at 9 AM BST. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for the next product introduction. Bye for now.